This is my first time going live, y'all. So, it's been a long day. I don't even know if anybody's gonna come and watch this with me, but I really wanted to talk about something. It's a real topic. Can you hear me? Working. Hello. I don't think my microphone is working. Is my microphone working? um, Hi. Hold on. I just want to make sure my microphone is working and you guys can hear me and I don't sound crazy. Like someone said, I don't sleep at this time of the hour. Is because, y'all, this McClure situation has been pissing me off so bad. Not just because of her, not just because of him, I mean, but also because of her, not just because of him, but also because of her. That's what I meant to say. So, um, a lot of you guys probably might not know, but you remember the McClure twins? They're like two little girls, super cute. They're mixed race. Um, the little girls have a black dad and a Nigerian mom. Um, let's do some backtracking. I'm Nigerian, in case you didn't know, but if you subscribe to me, then you know that I'm Nigerian. Okay. So I know what goes on in our community. And I could probably say that I was probably one of the racist Nigerians against African Americans. Not on purpose, just like there are white people that are racist and they don't even know it, just like the McClure's dad and just like the McClure mom. You know what I mean? I didn't understand Black American culture. You know what I mean? And I've already made a video about this. It's literally on my camera. It's just I have a lot of stuff to do, as you guys can see. I'm gonna be working while I'm talking to you guys. So I haven't been able to edit it. I made a video talking about this. African Americans and Black Americans are two different things. African Americans are completely different from Black Americans, the same way that African Americans are different from Africans. You understand? Culture is a big deal. Oh, okay. So I guess my one of my African fans didn't know that I was African as well. And no, it's not towards y'all. It's I'm on the African side of things, but I could put myself in other people's shoes. So I have some Black American friends who have a lot of culture and who respect their parents and who went to school, are educated, who even though they were uprooted from their ancestors were uprooted from their country, they're doing just fine developing a new culture, you understand, in a whole new land that doesn't even belong to them, like with a whole new diet that doesn't belong to them. African Americans are stuck eating white people food. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they have to do white people things. They have to fit into a white person's society. So they have it pretty hard. But the way that African Americans and the way that Africans um, look at Black Americans is really fucked up. And like I'm saying, I used to do it too. It's like, oh, all y'all is ghetto. Oh, all y'all, you guys don't know how to act. You guys don't want to work. You guys are lazy. You know, things like that. And it's really fucked up for us to be thinking that way. But that is what media gives us. You understand? That's the same thing with white people. That's what media gives them about Black people. So whenever I see or encounter a white racist, I just understand that they're just mentally they don't know better. You understand what I mean? They were taught one way, and the only way for them to understand something different is if we teach them. You know what I mean? So there's no way that African Americans, who our parents came here from Africa and they had a whole different upbringing, if you are coming to a country from a different country that you know nothing about, your only mindset is to make it. I'm going to the land of milk and honey, and I need to make it so my kids could be set. That's the difference between Africans and African and Black Americans. Oh, Africans, African Americans, and Black Americans. I don't have the same culture as an African young girl. If an African girl came here from Nigeria, let's say to get married, right? She's coming here to be submissive. She's coming here to do what she got to do. She could get into the mindset of us Americans, and she could be like, "Oh, once I get on, I'm leaving this." You know what I'm saying? But that's how we think. That's our culture. So even though I was born and raised in the United States, I was my parents gave me a different culture only because that's what they knew. That's all they knew. They didn't know the Black American culture. You know what I mean? And the Black American culture is so new. You understand what I mean? Like it's so fucking new. Is hip hop is one of the hugest music industries in the world, and it is a culture curated by Black Americans. You understand what I'm saying? It is their culture. They're barely building it. We've had Nigerian music for centuries. We've had fucking Congo music for centuries. You know what I'm saying? So they're barely able to express themselves and to make their own culture. And and African Americans kind of look down on that. They're so new. You know what I mean? African Americans are some of the only, Black Americans are some of the only, are one of the only races who don't have their own like land. You know what I mean? Like their ancestors were stolen from America. Was stolen from Africa, brought to America, and then used as slaves to build this country. And then they were like, you know what? This is probably fucked up. This is probably gonna bite us in the ass later. Let's let them free. Instead of giving them the 40 acres and a mule that they deserved for building the land that they built, they fucking put them in situations that would not help them in any sense to build their, um, like their just existence on this planet. And I think we have to sympathize with that. They were born here. They saw the type of struggles that their grandma and their great grandma went through. They heard the stories from their parents and stuff like that. And most of these stories can be fucking discouraging. You know what I'm saying? Really discouraging. It's like, dang, my grandma got her degree. She had a master's degree, but she still had to work at McDonald's in order to provide for us. So yeah, we was living in the ghetto, but my grandma was educated. And it's like, damn, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's really new. But whenever I see something like the McClure twins situation, where I see a white man using a Black woman to, you know, what's the word? Like clear his name, he made some racist ass tweets. And if you guys haven't seen the tweets, let me read what you guys are saying. Hey, can't go in the building. Okay, well, anyways, um, I don't know. He made some racist ass tweets that really got underneath my skin when I found out about them. I'm not the type of person that's gonna Google people's tweets or search people's tweets and figure out their past. And I guess his wife wasn't either because she had a baby with him. But after his tweets surfaced, they tried to do a lot of deflecting. They made a couple of videos that they've deleted now, talking about, when I first met her, like she made it very clear that she wasn't Black, she was African, which a lot of Africans do. But the thing is, if you meet somebody and you're born here or you were raised here or you're a citizen here, you can't even say like I'm African because you're not. You don't have the culture of an African. You don't have the full culture of an African. I schooled in Nigeria for 2 years when I was in seventh and eighth grade, but I cannot tell you that I am an African, a full-blooded African, because my culture comes from here. You're gonna see me at the club twerking and doing all this crazy shit that that Black American culture, accepts and likes, and that's their culture. They're building their culture. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm half. I'm a half caste. I'm half African. I'm half Black, and I feel like we just kind of have to accept that shit. You know? I love you too. I love you, Just Tree. I'm so hot, you guys. Well, anyways, the tweets were him saying that he was saying that um, pretty much he's dated a mixed girl who is half white and half black, and he dated her because she was a burn victim. So he made it seem like, oh, it's a white girl who was a burn victim. What? Why would you tweet something like that and tell me it's a joke? Anyways, one of his most recent apology videos, it wasn't just him in the video. His wife was in the video as well. He incorporated her daughters into the video because she's just announced to us that those two girls are not his babies. She said that those two girls are children from a previous relationship or marriage that went south. She broke it off with her baby father when the babies were in her stomach. So her baby's father was white. When you meet somebody who is of one specific race, you know what I mean, who is of a race, and they have a baby's father who's white, and then the next baby father is white, you cannot tell me that the reason why you're having sex with white people to have babies is because you're attracted to white people. Because for one, her husband is not an attractive white man. I'm sorry, that's not the reason why you're with him. You're with him because you wanted people to believe that those girls came from you and a white man, which they did, but it wasn't this white man. When those tweets surfaced, she was like, I know you're not racist. How can you be racist? You married a black woman. Like, how can you be racist? I know you're not racist, but they don't understand. They don't believe that. I know who you are. I know, but girl, why are you in this video? It's not even about you right now. You didn't know him when he made those tweets. He could have seen you and been like, if I can bag this bitch, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of niggers mad. That could have been what he was thinking. If I bag this black ass bitch, I can make a whole bunch of these black men mad because they don't think I can. Watch this. You know what I mean? Not only did he bag her, he gave her a freaking spawn. So when I look at things like when I look at things like this, I'm just like, wow. Hi, from the Philippines. What's up, girl or boy? Bernadette. That's a girl. Yeah, she's speaking up for her husband. That's fine, but at the end of the day, he needs to apologize. He's using her similar to the way a slave master would use his slaves. You know what I mean? He's using her. He put her in front of the camera instead of him saying like, I understand what I said was wrong. I was in a bad space. I apologize to everybody that was offended for what I said or what you guys found on the internet because it wasn't that long ago. Instead of him making a video like that, he brought his wife on the camera and his and her black babies and was like, have the little girls like, hey dada, did you learn your lesson? They didn't even know what the video was about. He's using these black girls, his wife and her two daughters, because they're not his, to make money. If you haven't noticed, like he literally blew up the channel with his last name, the McClure twins. They're not your twins. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and then when the McClure twins started like losing momentum, he changed the channel name to the McClure algorithm or some shit like that. Why is it your last name? Those babies came from her. I understand you guys are married now, but those babies are not your children. Then she wanted to say, "Oh, well, he adopted the babies, so they're his babies." But this whole time, you've been trying to make us believe that the reason why the girls look like that was because of him. You know what I mean? She was on the video and she was talking about some like, I know you and you're one of the most kind, loving people that I've ever met, and I know that was your past and stuff like that, but why did you do it? Girl, he did it because he's racist. He was racist. He is racist. He's still racist. He's gonna be racist, and he's using you for them twins and you so he can make some money. Because his babies will not be popping if they were just plain white. The reason why those babies are popping the way they are is because mixed children are fetishized. If I said that word right, yeah, I did. Okay, that's the reason why they're popping. The reason why he had a baby with you is not because he loves black women. The reason why he had a baby with you is because he knows a white person gets together with a black person and they make a mixed baby. And mixed babies are fetishized, okay? Mixed babies make money. So he's making money off of black women and now his little black son. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess they are his babies because he adopted them. But why would you make tweets and comments bagging on black women and then go and marry one? Were your white woman not interested in you or attracted to you? Because you were like, if you look at his tweets, you could tell he did not like black people in general. Not that he didn't like black women only or black men only. He didn't like black people from his tweets that he posted. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't like us so much, why did you go and marry a black woman? I'm sorry, you guys. You cannot convince me. You cannot convince me that this man is not using his white. In the video, he said, "Oh, the reason why I did it is because I'm white. I guess I use my white privilege, and white privilege. You can say whatever you want to say, and just get away with it." Yeah, everybody was racist. Okay, I'm gonna show this one because someone's trying to get rid of this comment, but I'm gonna let that one go through. It says Africans aren't racist. What about the African booty scratcher jokes from African Americans? But the booty scratcher jokes were not from African Americans. The booty scratcher jokes were from Black Americans, and the reason why they had those assumptions over Africans is because of what media gave them. You know what I mean? Media told Black Americans that Africans were poor, they didn't have shit, they were stupid. Like they also have been trying to manipulate black people into thinking that Africans sold their family members to white people. And I just want to ask, like, what currency back 500 years ago, what currency were they using to pay African people to buy their sisters and brothers? They didn't sell black African American or Africans did not sell black people to white people. White people stole them from our continent, our countries. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be mad. You can't be mad at people or you can't be mad at them saying that to us. I was pissed when I was younger because they used to say that to me. My name is Amarachi. You understand? That's not a regular name. They used to call me Mariachi. They used to say all types of shit. That's just what you're going to have to deal with growing up. Everybody gets bullied. Everybody gets bullied. And once I realized how to bully people, I bullied them back. You bully me, I bully you back. You understand? Like, we gonna clown on each other. That's how it is. And I don't think we can be mad. I don't think we should be mad at each other. The only thing we could do is educate one another, you know? That's the only thing we could do. Like, social media has helped us a lot with education because they seeing all the Bernice Burgoses of the world flying to Abuja in Nigeria, flying to Lagos and doing all this, going to Ghana, Accra. You know what I'm saying? They go into all these African countries and they're seeing them live the life that America never showed Black Americans. And they're like, damn, Africa's low key tight. They're meeting Africans who built infrastructures for themselves, built establishments. They're meeting Africans that are smart and articulate and beautiful. And they're like, dang, this isn't what I thought. You know what I mean? No, I'm Nigerian. My great grandma pointed out to us that there was a man who was ostracized because he used to kidnap kids to go sell. Oh, what currency? Tell me what. Okay, what currency was he selling them for? He was kidnapping kids to sell to the white people, but what currency was he taking from these white people? Please tell me. Because you said your grandma said, but your grandma wasn't alive 400 years ago. I'm sorry, bro. People just want to be ignorant, and I mean, I'm not calling you ignorant, but I'm just saying people want to like live in the blissfulness of ignorance. Like I understand believing the simple truth, believing that there's um you know one moon, one star, one earth. There's a whole bunch of people just living on this earth. US is a shit. To show that. I have to show that one. That's funny. Even a great grandma. A great grandma was alive 500 years ago. Even a great great grandma, was she alive 400 years ago? 500 years ago? No, buddy. No. So, if I was to tell you guys a story right now that was made up as shit, you guys would believe it. Because, okay, here's a perfect story that I heard from my grandfather. My grandfather, not my great grandfather, my grandfather. And he must have heard it from one of his ancestors or something, right? He told me the way the world was made was that Africa was the like the world was one continent, and Africa started breaking up. It was Africa, and then all the continents started shifting around the world, and that's what happened, right? And he said Africa wanted to be so um, like they wanted to keep their genes and stuff inside the continent that whenever a baby came out that was too white, they would ship the baby to sea. Okay, they shipped twins and babies into the ocean that were white or twins. Okay, so black people or black women are one of the only races of people who can have a baby that doesn't look anything like them. So they would say like albino babies and stuff like that. They would think those babies were evil, so they'll ship those babies out to sea, right? Twins, they didn't know which one of the twins were going to be evil, but they always believed that one of the twins were going to end up being evil, so they would ship the twins out to sea. You understand? So then he said that I couldn't believe the story, but I mean, it makes sense, and anybody could believe it. Then he said that the babies became they landed on an island and they became rebels because they didn't have parents, they didn't have anybody to teach them things and stuff like that, and that's how different countries got their colors. Okay, so he was like, they became rebels and they started building boats and they start going from continent to continent and island to island, stealing things from people. No, they didn't die at sea. He said that they landed on islands and then they raised themselves. How can a fucking baby float across the sea? And then they would go to island and they would use violence and take tools and minerals and things like that and money or anything that people valued, and they would kidnap babies and stuff like that to train them to be pirates. Now you could believe this story because if you really think about it, he probably didn't tell me all the details, but it's possible. He said that these people then became one of the most well known and one of the most violent people, very smart people, and they were very violent. They got whatever they wanted, they took whatever they wanted. And so he was talking about how America was founded. There was already people on the land, and he was like, the pirate babies, that's what he called them, pirate babies, went to America or came to Africa, stole people, went to America and used the people to build their land. Pirate babies. So you can't believe everything you say, you know what I'm saying? You just have to live in what you're living in right. You can't believe everything you hear. You just have to live in what you're living in right now, and you have to be respectful to people around you, and you have to try and put yourselves in their shoes. Okay, you have parents that weren't given any leverage. They didn't have any wealth, you know? They didn't have anything. And you expect those kids to grow up and go to an Ivy League college? No. That's halfway possible. You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty much. If you look at the roster of like ships that were cleared through London and you see where they went and the countries that they were taken from and the countries that they were dropped off in. Um, the Caribbean was mostly people from the west of Africa. So all of those people on the Caribbean, they were originally slaves. The country is mostly those countries, those islands are mostly black now. And I asked one of my friends because sometimes I be curious. He's from Dominica, which is not the Dominican Republic. It's a different island called Dominica. Um, he told me that I was asking him like, how come it's mostly black people there if you guys were slaves too? what happened to America. He told me that America was too big. There was already a lot of people there when you guys got there. America was too big, and there's too many white people. And he was like, and Black Americans are not united. And I was like, what? Black Americans are not united? And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? All the Black people in America, we are pretty segregated. Not only do white people hate us, not only do Asian people hate us, not only do Mexican people hate us, not like all of them, but like, you know what I'm saying, in general, we hate us. We hate ourselves. And it's like, how? No, no, no. I love all y'all. You know what I'm saying? There's a few of us that we all love each other and stuff like that. But you can even hear it in our lyrics. Like, once I get to the top, I'm going to leave you. Like, oh, all this. Oh, let me tell you another story about how the Black community is so fucked up. Okay. I consider myself Black, even though my parents are African and I have that African culture. I still have Black culture, so I'm half and half, bitch. I'm Black. Okay. Um, One of my friends who is in the music industry was telling me that, like I said, you can believe whatever you want. I don't have to believe what he's talking about, but it sounds very, very, very real. He told me that there's this secret society of people. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. You guys, I will never kill myself. I don't do drugs. So if I overdose or anything like that, you know it wasn't me. You know they're trying to kill me or whatever. Just saying that just in case. You know what I'm saying? So he was telling me that there's a secret society of not only white people, of people that they want to call Freemasons or something like that. And he was like, what they do is they find people with a big influence in the ghettos, and they give them drugs confiscated from like raids and stuff. Whenever they raid like a big posse of like drug dealers and stuff, they'll raid their drugs and they'll take it. They put it in the FDA. Wait, federal drug? Yeah, they'll put it in the FDA. They keep it, and then they'll take the drugs whenever they want to like just demolish like a neighborhood or anything. They did this a lot in the Bill Clinton era. They would give rappers and stuff like that, and just people that are influential in the hoods. They'll give them a boatload of drugs and say, "You can do whatever you want with these drugs. Um, you could make as much money as you want with these drugs, and you could do what you want with the money. We are part of the FDA. We are part of the Freemasons. We will not bother you." Um, so what's that? I should stop talking. Um, Whatever. Like, I can't be afraid for the rest of my life, bitch. We all gonna die at some point, but somebody needs to make some type of moves. Otherwise, we gonna be slaves for another 200 years, like Kanye said. Okay. So he said that they'll give the drugs to these people, and then they'll go out to the communities and they'll sell the drugs, and they will break down the drugs, sell it to like crackheads, or like not even crackheads, because crackheads were regular people before they started doing crack, right? So they'll sell it to people. People will get addicted to the drugs, and girl, it could fall all the way back. I'll be okay with it. Talk about this wig. Um and and they won't get in trouble, but those people on the streets will get in trouble for having a dime bag of weed or having some cocaine on them. And that's the reason why the police are so deep inside of the ghetto communities, because they know that they place drugs. Where the fuck do you think drug dealers get their drugs from? You think these hood ass niggas be driving all the way up to Canada to go get drugs? You think they be driving all the way to Mexico, go and carry drugs through the border so that they can get caught at the border? You know they be looking for black people. No, they don't do that. It's handed to them. And they're like, you can do whatever you want with this. You do whatever you want with the money that you make from this, but you have to find your clientele. We won't bother you. So sometimes they sell it in mass quantities. Think about it. Think about the rap music. All the rappers, all the biggest rappers, all the rappers that are being promoted on MTV, BET, they all talking about Molly Percocet, drugs, come buy my drugs. I'm a drug dealer. I'm a drug dealer. Hey, feds, I'm a drug dealer. I sell drugs. I sell it by the kilo. And nobody's doing anything to them. How come they're not going to jail for selling drugs? They're saying it in their music like, yeah, I sell drugs. That's what's in the community. Yeah, like they grow cocaine in the fucking hood. Yeah, that's right. So all I'm saying is like it's a setup, and we need to look at it, and we need to turn our back on it. We can't be like, oh, let's bump in drug music, trap music is what they call it now. Yeah, it's music or an art that they came up with a law. They created a law to allow you to rap about drugs because it's artistic, so that you don't get in trouble for it. What white person came up with that law, and how come they haven't come up with a law, okay, that bridges the wealth gap between black people and white people? How come they haven't come up with a law like that? How come they're coming up with laws that's like, okay, yeah, these rappers are talking about drugs. It's okay though because they're rapping. Come on, y'all. Think a little bit deeper. Think a little bit deeper. I'm just saying. People want to be so gullible. You just want to be like, yeah, no, the world is so rosy. You don't understand how people sit and manipulate and think about things to really fuck us up. They rap about drugs because that's what's bumping. You telling me if they don't use the same beat and say something else on it, it's not gonna be bumping? It's not the words that's bumping. It's the beat. Cut it exactly. I'm not talking about gap. I'm talking about the wealth gap. I'm talking about the fact that they had a good 500 years to ahead of us to build wealth while they had us in slavery. I'm not talking about pay. I'm not talking about wage. I'm talking about wealth and how it was distributed and how the hell we, the one who built the land, or not we, because like I said, my ancestors were enslaved, but how Black Americans built the land and how they don't have any piece of the fucking pie. Yes, because we want to hear ignorant shit. If you want to talk about real shit and you want to have a real discussion, then let me know. But if you talking about some bullshit, you gonna get put on timeout or you're gonna get blocked. It does take time to catch up. We are seeing things change, and like I'm saying, social media is such a game changer, and people don't understand how big of a game changer social media is. You know what I mean? Like, you could literally get on here and say whatever the fuck you want. It's gonna take them some time to catch you. Black people are very afraid to die. They rather live in bullshit than fight for something. And when I say black people, I'm not talking about black Americans, I'm talking about black people. Even in Africa, in Nigeria's been corrupt ever since I've been on this earth. Nigeria's been corrupt. That's 25 years. 25 years, shit could have changed. Are you kidding me? What we need are people that are willing to make the change. Even in America, I've been here for 25 years and we're still oppressed. Okay, is it going to be my generation that's going to fix shit, or are we going to have to die off and the generation underneath us are going to have to fix shit? Because we already know that they ain't about to fix nothing. Look at them. Asians built railroads. Okay, fun fact, I guess. I'm going to Google that. African and Black Americans are different people. Yes, I've already discussed that. Asians were slaves too. Damn, didn't know that. See, that's what I'm talking about, though. I could Google that, but they didn't teach me that in school. That's for damn sure. So how come we don't have our own curriculum? How come the United States doesn't give a fuck about teaching us some real shit? Why do we have to pay to learn fake news? We're paying to go to schools that teach us shit that Fox News spews. Like, I don't know what walkaway is. I used to work at the railroads. Okay, you going on timeout because you're talking about bullshit. um, no, we're not told to be a victim. Someone said, are blacks told to be Are you told to be a victim? No, we're not told to be a victim, but we're kind of taught that without even knowing, subconsciously. Information is definitely everywhere. It is up to us. For example, this Me Too movement, there's a lot of young women that are getting molested, that are getting raped, all types of things, because obviously they're not as strong as men when they're put in situations where a man wants to get his rocks off. You know what I mean? So women are getting put into crazy ass situations. You know what I mean? Men too sometimes, if the man is smaller than the woman, or if the man is intimidated by the woman, this happens often. Um, what needs to happen is we need to teach our kids. If someone fucking touches you, or tell me right away. In the Black community, they make it seem like sex is so bad and disgusting, and if you have sex, you're a whore, and da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? So when something like that happens to a little Black girl, she doesn't even want to say anything. You know what I mean? The moms aren't even imagining something like that happening to their kids. You know? And then if like, how do you retaliate? How do you retaliate when you find out that someone was touching your little girl? And sometimes they'll find out that a white boy was touching on a little Black girl, and the white boy gets away with it. Asians are oppressed because guess what? After the slave trade, there was an effort to exterminate Black people because it would be it will be it will be too expensive for them to send back Black people back to Africa. Wait, so did they send Asians back to Asia? I'm confused because you know that there are some Black Asians. If all you see is drugs, violence, and failure, what the fuck do you think is going to happen to you? That is absolutely true. And that is one of my major points. Um, I'm trying to go up to where last I was reading. Black people in the US are not Americans. Are Blacks from US not Americans? Are whites from America not Americans? Okay, so in America, this is not any of ours land, okay? This land belongs to the natives. We shouldn't even call them natives. They should be called Americans. This land belongs to them. We came here and we settled here and we started building culture and land here and started building on top of land here. So that's the reason why um, Blacks are called Black Americans and whites are called white Americans. Even though white people, they're so manipulative that they're able to be like, hey, we're Americans. You guys are Black Americans and you guys are Native Americans. It's kind of like, oh, this might offend some people, but it's kind of like how transgender women have come onto the scene and they're like, we're women, and you guys are cis women. how how about we're women, because that's what it was, and you guys are transgender women. Like that's that's exactly what it is. But you can't just come on here and like change shit around. And that's what white Americans are really good at doing: changing shit, stealing, lying, manipulating, stuff like that. Um, like my grandfather said, pirate babies. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All I know is that Africans from Africa that I met were cool. So are you trying to say that Africans from or Black people from America are not cool? Um, people are leaving the Democratic Party in numbers. No one cares. And the Blacks from the USA are racist as fuck. Oh. Racist towards who, though? The United States is a free country. For who? Okay. You're light, you're too subconscious, Asian, being cute. I like cute Black girls. All Black girls are cute, so you like Black girls. Trans is not a sexual preference, it's a mind of disease. Oh, it's a mind disease. They believe Asians were smarter and more useful. Research the bell curve. The bell curve. Where my phone? I will. Actually, I'm on my laptop. I could search it here. Can I? Bell curve. performers on each side of the spectrum. So Africans and African Americans are the same race. It's prejudice, not racism. Okay. I guess you can call that. I mean, like I said, a lot of terminology has been changed. Racism used to mean that you felt like your race was superior than any other race. But over time, it's changed to like, if you can only be racist towards somebody if you have power and you use your power to keep people that are not your race down. So cis women, where are you from? Okay, you're gonna go on timeout, buddy. I don't want to talk about it for days. You just chill out real quick. Don't leave, you are so right, because when you do a census or survey or anything, you see white, not white American, like they do other races. The world is not our home. This world is not our home. Whose home is it? Cows? I like this chat. It's deep, but I'm legit hungry. Cis women. Yeah, we are cis women now. We're no longer women. That's how you have to identify. Someone said the natives from US are monkeys. They are wicked smart. Let me see what we're talking about. I like you. Okay. What's a cis woman? I don't know what it stands for, but a cis woman means that you're born the gender that you are. Like you're born, you identify as the gender that you were born as. So, if you were born a woman, if you were born a woman and you identify as a woman, then you are a cis woman. If you were born a man and you identify as a man, you are a cis man, a cisgender man. Okay. Um, when you are born a woman and you identify as a man, then you are a transgender man. You guys, it's confusing. I'm sorry. It's confusing. I'm just getting the hang of it. Do I have a job? No, I don't have a job. But this is my house. I live here by myself. I'm a sister. Okay. Well, anyways, I came on here to talk about how Africans do have a little bit of prejudice in their blood because we believe that we're better than other races, and we believe that we're better than other. I don't know. No, okay. Someone said you can't be racist. It's prejudice because we're both black. We're black, but we are different races. Like we're in different ethnic groups. Am I saying this right? Let me Google it, y'all. It's too much to know. It's too much to learn. There's too much shit that we need to learn in this world. Okay, you feel me? Okay, a race group. I think race is colors, and then ethnic is like culture. Sorry, man. I spoke about how Africans are dumber than every other race. That's cute, but you know what? I don't think that he was born and raised in Africa. I don't think any of you. I don't think that that man could build a pool out of bamboo sticks. You know what I mean? I don't think that man could do the type of things that people in Africa can do. He could probably do the things that you guys were taught to do here, and he probably is smarter at certain things that Americans are smarter at. But I don't think that they're smarter. If you put an African pause. If you put an African, a white person, and a black person in the same course, and they're taught evenly, the same amount of way, the same way, I feel like everybody will be evenly as smart. I feel like Asians and Africans put their mind to things better because they are raised in a third world country where they always have to think about ways to get around things. You know what I mean? So can't nobody tell me that one race is smarter than another race, because ain't not one. I ain't met a white person that's smarter than my. I ain't met a white person that's smarter than me. Okay, maybe Bill Gates or something like that. But come on, let me get to that age. um. So yeah. If I'm taught something, if when Black people are taught something, they understand it. You know. Let me see. Race is Hispanic. People who identify their origin, Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish, maybe race. White, Black, or African American, American Indian. Wow, I didn't know it was called American Indian. Alaska Native, Asian and Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander. Okay, so these are races. Okay, I feel like all of these things have different like skin complexions. Let me see what an ethnic group is. Yep, cultural background. So, can you be? I guess I guess being racist, you can't be racist about against someone that has your same skin color, but you could be prejudiced against someone with a different ethnicity than you. Asian one stream from Black families. People, I feel like Asians are very strategic, and mind you, niggers from U.S. and niggers from Africa are shits with Sita and crackers. Okay, we're gonna block you because you're having a moment. You're having a moment, buddy. Go home. Um, yeah, you can be mixed with, like, there are white people in South Africa. There are white people in North Africa. There are white people in Central Africa, West, East. There are white people all over the place. But they identify as African because that's the culture that they were raised in. You know what I mean? They speak more of the language than me. They eat the food the same way that I would eat the food if I was there. You know what I mean? So when people try to categorize people into race groups, you can't really do that. Humans are humans. If you put Asian in Africa, they're going to adapt to living in Africa. Is that going to make them dumb? Because people want to say, oh, Black people, Africans are dumber than Asians. How can you prove this? There's no fucking way you can prove that an Asian is dumber than or an African is dumber than an Asian. These are stats that they didn't include the whole world in. These are statistics that they were in a lab and they were like, you know what? We're gonna make the world believe that Black people are dumb, so that way we can do stupid shit to them. And when they give information like that, like the information that this motherfucker posted on in the comments, you make Black people feel insecure about themselves. You make Black people feel like, dang, we must not be smart because everybody's saying we're smart. We're not smart. Like, people say that Black women are the least attractive and Asian men are the least attractive of the men and of the women. And it's like, who did these surveys? You know what I mean? Because I wasn't included in any of these. Did you go to Africa and do this survey? Or did you just do that survey in fucking Pennsylvania? I am racist. Okay. I'm Nigerian. I live in England. And statistically, we are beyond our classmates. Statistically, they Africans in England. I'm sorry, my wig is moving back, but it's a wig. Africans are above their classmates in England, which, you know what I'm saying? There's white people there. There are a lot of Asians there. And when I say Asians, you know, Indians are Asians, right? Everybody knows that, right? And Indians usually, with their culture, they are taught to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, similar to Africans. Damn, I'm missing all of this. She loves him. Black people should get away from rap music. I believe in that too. I love you. White people in South Africa, in my opinion, don't count because they are ancestors of colonizers. Um, exactly. Oh, what Tracy said about the bell curve. Exactly. My dad was an asshole, but he was a pimp. Like, people really just don't have nothing else to do. Girls just want sex. That's the reason why you're so fucked up. because your dad fucked you up. Same way. That proves that proves that the way that you're raised um, reflects the way that you are as an adult. You know what I mean? Like, um, I'm gonna give you an example because this is what I like to do. Like, especially if there's white people that are listening or other races that are listening. Um, I want to put you guys in a black person's shoes. Okay. I used to teach. I taught for a year, right? There was a little boy in one of my classes who told me, he wasn't little, he was like 14. He told me that his dad said that black people are shit. Black people ain't shit. That he doesn't want to see him around black women. If he sees him dating a black woman, that he would kill him himself. Stuff like that, right? And when I was being brought up, I was taught that you're equal. Everybody is equal. You know, like that white person is not better than you, and you're not better than that white person. But when I'm at school, the white kids treated me like they were better than me because their parents taught them that they were better than me. My mom taught me that we were on the same playing field. So when a little white kid would say some shit to me that, oh, you can't play with us, I would think it's because they are better than me. My mom is just telling, when like a mom tells you like, you're so beautiful, and you just think like, mom, you're just telling me that because you're my mom, but nobody else thinks I'm beautiful type shit, right? That's how you feel at school. It's like, mom, you're telling me that we're equal, but it's very obvious based off of everything that I see happening around me that we aren't equal. White people are better than us. You know what I mean? And that fucking sits in the back of your brain, and it fucks with your mental. It fucks with your psyche. The same way that there's one of these people said that, oh, my dad taught me that girls just want sex and he was a pimp and blah blah blah. Like, that's what you learned as a child, and that's why you're fucked up right now. And that's the reason why a lot of black people are fucked up. I have to put you on timeout real quick. You're doing too much. Um. So, anyways, I'm just saying for you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Like, it's a mental thing. People try to make it seem like we can't help black people. That's their fault that they're where they are. But mental illnesses are a real thing. And there's so many mental illnesses that we don't know about. I'm sure there's a mental illness that we don't know about that is specific to black Americans, you know what I mean? Or specific to African Americans or specific to Africans. There are a lot of mental diseases that are attached to white Americans. So let's just let's just call a spade a spade. What inspired? I'm sorry, I'm getting sick. It was raining today, and it was like 100 degrees. How was it raining and thundering the way it is? What inspired this video was because I'm just gonna end it with this. I saw a video of someone exposing the McClure twins' dad, and he went on a rampage talking shit about black people, but he was calling it comedic satire. And um, although black people do a lot of jokes clowning on white people, I feel like the racist jokes that they make are, you know, funny because it's very apparent of the things that they were doing and things that they were saying. But the jokes that he was saying were kind of comparing black people to shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, how you gonna try and compare black people to shit? And you're white and you have all this privilege and it's not fair with, like, you know what I mean? So a lot of stuff came up from his tweets from 2015. That's 3 years ago. That wasn't that long ago. And in 2014, he married a black woman. Well, his first tweets started in 2011, and he married a black woman in 2014 who had already 2 kids with another white man. They're twins, by the way. So he married her, and they made a video talking about, the issues with the tweets and how he was like, it's just a joke, like get over it. And it's like, no, you can't just say it's a joke that we should get over it, because you need to apologize. You did some fucked up shit, you know? And then he used his wife, and he deleted the first couple of videos that they made because he knew that it wasn't getting over on us. And he made a video of his wife asking him questions, and he used his wife's daughters because the daughters are not his. And the daughters were like, Dad, did you learn your lesson? Did you learn your lesson? The little girls very obviously didn't know what the fuck was going on. So to incorporate them in the video is almost like he was making a joke out of us, you know? Then he used his wife, who has already said that she doesn't feel like black people and white people, black people and African people are the same. She was just saying like, we have different morals, we have different culture, so we're different, you know. And she was pretty much saying things like that in a video. So she had to make a video as well, kind of apologizing to black people. So in the joint video, he didn't apologize for what he was saying. He was saying like, I don't know if people, he was like, I'm not racist. So if people think I'm racist, I guess I have to say sorry because they think I'm racist, but I'm not racist. The jokes that I made, if someone that was racist made them, yeah, it'll be racist, but I'm not racist. And it was like, what are you fucking saying? What the fuck are you saying? And she was like, yeah, I get it. Uh-huh. And I was like, okay, this is a shit show. It's very obvious that the both of them are together because of their product, because of what they make, because of the type of money they can make off of their children. And the United States really fetishizes mixed babies. I wish someone would argue me with that. Like, there are white people that hate black women, but they will fuck a black woman. They'll marry a black woman to have mixed babies. And there's black women who actually say it through their mouth. I want a white man so I can have mixed babies with pretty hair. So, I mean, I don't know if white guys say stuff like that because I don't have a lot of white friends, but I know black women who will say like, "Oh, I want to have a white boyfriend." So, and I know white friends. I have white girlfriends that's like, I only fuck with black guys because they gonna give me some cute ass babies. So, I wish someone would try to argue that point with me, that people aren't just having sex because of the type of baby that they're gonna create, and not because they necessarily like the way each other look, or they like each other's culture or anything like that. So yeah. Black people get on average faster mad. Wrong. Love this video, but I gotta ask what inspired it. What about the time black people aren't what about the times black people aren't mad? Yeah, that's true. What about when we aren't mad? They only see us when we're mad though. We don't make sense when we're not mad. I don't want to vent because I legit want to get deep with you. Call me. Okay, weirdo. Time out. Did you ever wash your friend's balls in the shower? Okay. Mute. And what do black people think about race almost every day? White people almost not. That must be awesome. If It would be awesome if I didn't have to think about my race on a daily basis. If I could just walk around and think like no one is gonna judge me because of the way I look, that would be the fucking life. And that's the privilege. That's the white privilege. You walk around, do stupid shit, and you don't expect to get in trouble for the dumb shit that you do. You know what I mean? A little black kid could be walking down the street and he could have a dime bag of weed in his pocket. A little white boy could be walking down the street and have a backpack on, and the whole backpack could be full of cocaine. But the police is gonna stop the black guy. And if the police stop the black guy and frisk the black guy, what they gonna find? They gonna find that bag of weed, and the black guy's going to jail. If they not stopping the white guy, and if they stopping the white guy, it's probably just to see where he's going. Hey, where you going? What you doing? He's like, oh, I'm going to my friend's house. All right, have a good night. That's what it is. It's not the same with us. It's a joke like that I ever. I didn't sneeze. I haven't sneezed yet. I'm just trying to clear my nose because I'm congested. My issue is like there's nothing wrong with being racist. It's okay for you to think that you're better than everybody else, but don't try to lie about it. And don't put me in a don't use your racism and put me in a situation that's gonna injustice me. Like don't see a black man and a white man and be like, oh, I know that a white woman can't do anything to a black man, so it must be the black man's fault. There's different types of racism. Like, I believe black people are beautiful. Black people are some of the best people in the world, and that's a good type of racism. But I'm not rude to white people. I don't judge white people. I don't judge black people. That's a different type of racism. But if I had like a big organization and I only hired white people to take out garbage. If I and only people I hired were black people, but only time I hired a white person was if they were doing something manual like or something in maintenance. You know what I mean? Then that would be a fucked up type of mentality to have. You know what I mean? But in order for the United States to get on an even playing field, that's what needs to happen. But black people are naturally too kind to do things like that. They always want to take the peaceful route. They always want to be like, oh, well, we can't solve violence with violence. We have to be peaceful because they expect us to be angry. And it's like, girl, that's not how they took over this country. They didn't take over this country by being peaceful. They don't have us oppressed for 400 years by being peaceful. Come on, like you can't get shit done being nice. Yes, we don't band together like other Asians. I mean, like other races. You go into an Asian store, it's only Asians. And they be selling stuff for black people. Okay. Asian restaurants, we eat their food, all their food. Thai, Chinese, Vietnamese, we eat all of their food. You walk into a nail salon, it's always Vietnamese people in the Asian salons. You know what I mean? And they doing a whole bunch of black people's nails and Mexican girls because we like to have our nails done, right? You walk into you walk into a beauty supply store. They selling weave. They selling weave. And their customer service is not the best. So we walking in there and they're like, hurry up and buy. Damn, bitch, if we didn't come to the store, you wouldn't have a business. And it's crazy to me. Yeah, you own your own mind. Wow, people are fucking weird. I do think that black people need to stand up for themselves and stop this nice shit. But black people are afraid to die. Let me be real with you. Black people are afraid of death. That we value life so much, and that's the reason why you don't see a lot of African countries going to war with other countries. You know, because look, we're taught at a young age if you see somebody and you get into a fight with, if you get into an argument with them, you're gonna have to fight that person, and then we're gonna see who's on the level. You know what I mean? So when Africans have seen the way that America fights, there's no reason. We're cool. We're cool. We don't need to fight. I'm cool with you guys because we ain't trying to get fucking nuked. It has to be sneaky. You have to be sneaky about it. Yeah, we are being brainwashed. Our textbooks, you know, they've changed the textbooks to say that Native Americans, and they did. That's not what I was taught, okay? But now they're seeing like that's really fucked up, and they don't want kids that because it's a little vulgar. But that's what fucking happened, you know. And it's like, can you teach us what really happened, or don't teach us anything at all? All lives do matter. So we have to treat all lives like they matter. So we know that white people's lives matter. We know that everybody else's lives matter, but it almost seems like y'all don't give a fuck about if our lives matter. That's the reason why they say Black Lives Matter too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, don't forget about us. We know that y'all good, but what about us? Yeah. But you like I noticed this. I saw another YouTuber make a video about this actual thing, swamp. Swamps 31. Um, Black people ain't on. If black people were on the level where they could just drop cash any type of way, ain't nobody asking for no discounts. You know what I mean? The reason why black people be like, "Oh, you're my family, give me a hookup," is because low key they need the hookup. If they had the money, I don't think that they would be tripping like that. Although there are some who do have the money are just selfish, for the most part, it's like we don't have the type of wealth that the other races have in order to support their businesses, you know? And like just promote yourself to people who do have that. Um, ask your family to support you as much as they can. If they can't support you, then, just be like, hey, go somewhere else. Oh, you can't go anywhere else? Okay, so I think you have to support me the right way. White Fang? Okay, I'm gonna watch that right now. Shoot. Black people do have buying power. You could tell by fucking the way that they buy them Jordans up, and Michael Jordan don't give a fuck about us. We are our worst enemy. That is completely true, and that's what I said at the beginning of this video. Like everybody hates us, and then we hate us too. How is that going to make any change? If it depends on me, all white people that are racist, yes, they can go to hell. But I have too many white friends that are not racist and have beautiful souls that I wouldn't want to go to hell with the rest of these racist motherfuckers. Crabs in a bucket. I just finished my exams, and one of your areas of study was American planes in the back. Me that. So many people in America have been taught such a myopic version of the history that we really lived. That's so true. That's so true. They really just given us stories like, you know what I mean? And this isn't a book. This is what I try to explain to people when it comes to religion as well. I haven't touched on this, and it's kind of like a tricky topic to touch on. But I try to explain this to people about religion, like it's a book, just like a history book is a book. Um, it's painted the way that the writer wanted you to see it. So history that is being taught to us, including the Bible, is very like, imagine if I wrote a book right now and it was the best book of all time. And it just, if it went all over the world and I had people taking my book, going around the world, preaching it to people who had nothing, didn't know anything about this type of stuff. And people started believing in it because that's the first thing. Understand how young this world is. We think it's the end of time. We think that the world is coming to an end. Hell nah. The world is only 2,000 years. Wait, it's not 2,000 years old. I'm tripping. But just remember that there was dinosaurs on this earth at some point. So just imagine how far we've evolved from there. And remember that in another 2,000 years, it's gonna okay, let me try and put it on a scale. Um, we've evolved, let me say, like, let me call it 2,000 times what we were 2,000 years ago. Okay. So just last year, let me see, what's a new development in the past year? Okay, maybe not the past year, but recently cars have started to drive themselves, right? There is no fucking way. 500 years ago, they thought that they were even going to have cars, let alone cars that were going to drive themselves. You understand? So let's just remember that the world is really young and we have a lot of learning to do. And I feel like everybody has a part to play in learning and the killing of ignorance and just experience in general and just being real and honest about your experience and um, teaching it to people. You know what I mean? Using your gifts as trade. You don't necessarily have to be so rich. Why do you have to have $30 million? As if you had $1 million, you wouldn't be perfectly fine. There's things like that that we need to learn about ourselves. Talking about some of the same stuff, like being light skinned, African. Yeah, I actually said something like that to one of my friends the other day, talking about how African men believe that like the lighter you are, the better you are, and that's literally just because white people have done such a good job at making everybody believe that this is what you need to be. You need to be white. You need to be us. I don't believe that, obviously, for so many different reasons. I don't think that white is a superior race, although they use their brains. Okay, white people were very strategic about the way that they climbed to the top. They used force and violence, which a lot of races aren't good at using. You know what I mean? Um, Violence is kind of like, oh, this sounds bad, but it's kind of like born in them. Um, for example, whenever you see like a school shooting or something, it's rarely for a reason. It's normally just because there's anger and hate inside of that person. So much hate that they feel like everybody should die, including me. That doesn't really happen often with the black race. Normally, in the black race, if somebody does something wrong to you and you feel like that person needs to die or whatever, if there's that much anger in you for that person, that's when you go and kill that person. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like the black community kill themselves when this person does something to them. You're not going to see a black person walk into a white school and just shoot a whole bunch of white kids, you know? I feel like okay, Marthia's Egert. And what about black people who discriminate white ones? So we're gonna ignore her. I'm saying I agree with her as to why a lot of black people ask families for discounts. This guy's like, yo, I hate religion, but I love it much more. I do it. Yeah, you know. Oh my God, these comments are moving too quick. You know what they say? History is written by the winners of the war. That's true. Have you listened to the? Okay, we're gonna hide that. Mama says. I'm war. Antoinette, love you too. White people say, remember that white people saved you. It are the white people who were against slavery who saved you from the horrible past. I can't stand people, bro. I swear. Got to do me. Oh my God. How do you block people, y'all? I think it's time to block this person. How do you block this person? We're being taught we are all from Africa, most of us native to America. Okay, and we're being taught that we're all from Africa. Most of us are native to America. Yeah, there are a lot of black Native Americans. That's absolutely true. But like my grandfather said, everybody came from Africa. Everybody came from Africa. It took them long enough. Heaven doesn't come lying in the sky. Exactly. Yeah, but if we were okay, Victoria said white people are innately. Oh, girl, you be using the words. Innately violent, and because of that, they're afraid of black people because they don't understand that we are not as violent as they are, which is completely true. We are very physically fit. We are very like, if we wanted to be violent, if a black person used their anger and literally just fought a white person, they would always win. They would always win. You know what I mean? So white people know that physically they cannot win against black people. So because of that, they use weapons. And that's the reason why weapons were invented, because they were afraid to fight with their hands. They started using swords. They started using spears. The people who used spears were the scariest. They called them cowards back in the day because um, they couldn't even see their opponent face to face. They had to use aim. They had to use strategy in order to kill their opponent, because if their opponent was to approach them and fight against them hand to hand or sword to sword, they would very obviously lose. Yes, I'm scared of. I'm happy you admitted it. Do you go to university? Like I'm afraid of KKK countries too. Asian. You're when I put people in a timeout, it's because you're saying dumb shit. Yeah, I've been to an African club and they talk shit like it's nothing. Yeah, we know. Okay, see, this is why you go on timeout. I don't care what your dad was. Why are you talking about your dad being a pimp? All right, you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This is a long ass video. I didn't expect it, but you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to kind of talk about that shit. Black people, we are racist towards ourselves. There even black people in America are racist towards like black people in the suburbs are racist towards black people in the hood. Black Americans are racist towards black Americans because they're in a different level than them. And they're like, oh yeah, a black man will see a beautiful black woman, but because he's afraid of what people might think of him, he's gonna look the other way because this bitch is black, you know. And people don't like black people, so I can't like black people, even though you are black. Like that's fucked up. Can I save him? All right, bye, buddy. Going back into. Okay, bye, guys. Bye. Well, prejudice. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Same thing.